Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about your upcoming paper. And so your paper is going to be 5 to 7 pages and it's going to focus on one Indigenous group of your choosing. You're going to be discussing their past, their present, and their future. And so in your paper, you're going to structure your paper to have an abstract, which is just a quick overview of what your paper is and a summary of what you found and a brief conclusion. You're going to want to have an introduction, which is going to tell about what group you chose, why you chose them, and how your paper is going to be laid out. Then you're going to want to discuss again their past, their present, and their future. And then you're going to want to have a strong conclusion that details all the things that you've already talked about in a brief summary, and anything that you feel like you liked about your paper, didn't like about your paper, what things you wish people would research more, or where you would think people want to take the research about your paper and go forward. And then you're going to need a reference cited page. In your reference cited page, you actually want to use scholarly materials. So that means you want to look at Google Scholar for peer-reviewed material. Most of the material on there is peer-reviewed or it has credibility. And so you want to use Google Scholars. You want to look at current newspapers. So if you know that there's a tribal reservation of the Sioux in one of the Dakotas, then you want to look at some of those headline newspapers because they're in that area. You also want to look for tribal newspapers because those list things that are currently happening in tribal societies that aren't available in major city newspapers or some of the more predominant newspapers. You want to stay away from Wikipedia. Please. You can use encyclopedias, but please use them sparingly, as majority of them have been written decades beforehand and have not been updated recently. And a lot of them use general information and knowledge. So that would be good for a general background or past or historical approach when going about talking about the past history of a group, but you don't want to rely on it too much. You also want to have other sources to back up that information. Your paper is 5 to 7 pages. I do believe it is double spaced. And so you want to go ahead and get that done. And I think the biggest thing is you want to make sure you get a start on it once the rubric and all the information is up about your paper. You want to go ahead and start working on finding resources. That way, if you're having trouble on finding sources and material for your paper, you can please email me or Dr. Stanley or Jacob to get some help or come to tutoring hours so we can work on finding you some information. That way we can help you find what you need to find way before the deadline for your paper comes up. Also, please write in complete sentences. I know you all feel like that is something that should not be said, but again, please write in complete sentences. That is fundamental for writing a college level paper. So if you all have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me or Dr. Stanley or Jacob. And that's all you need to know right now about your paper. Bye.